Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa, and in this video we're going to talk through how I've completed this robin with colour pencils. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. And this robin is a full real-time tutorial on my Patreon channel, so you can jump over there if you want to give this one a try. In the description below I'll put a list to my website with all of the tutorials I have available, and I also have some cards of this one on Etsy. So let's get started drawing the robin. So for this sort of thing, make sure you have a really sharp point on your pencil. It will help you get all of those really little details in. So I'm starting with the eyes just because it puts some character in and gives you a really good place to work from. So going with a really light layer of the black to get the outline, go in with a light layer of the black and then layer it up with some of the light ultramarine. Going back over with the black and adding some warm grey 2 in some of the lighter sections. In the highlight sections I also added some of the light ultramarine and then go back in over with the Polychromos white pencil just to make it that opaque colour and keep that highlight section nice and bright. And then you can go back in with your darker colours, really darken up the black section with the blue underneath. Then going into the beak, I go through with a warm grey 2 just to do the base layer. Starting to add some of the purple violet to get some of those darker tones in. I also add in a little bit of the cadmium orange just to start that feather texture down the bottom. Then going with some of the darker colours like the walnut brown, warm grey 5, black, purple violet to add in all those really little details. And then moving on to the top of the head, we start to add in some of the cadmium orange to put in this feather texture. So remember, with this sort of thing you need to go in the direction of the feathers and making them nice and short so that they blend in nice and gently. I also went through with some of the warm grey 2, started to add in some of the raw umber, sanguine, getting darker with the walnut brown, and then finally adding in some black. Then going into this breast section, I started to add a base of the cadmium orange. So remember, making sure to go in the direction of the feathers, and you also want to go in a little bit darker where you can see the darkest areas, so you just don't lose where the darkest shadows are. And then going through with a light base all over the piece. So the main colours I used for this section was the cadmium yellow, cadmium orange, and the sanguine. Layering these all up really lightly. So the thing you want to do is make sure you have really light layers. If you're going with a really heavy pressure, you won't be able to get many layers down, and once you go through to blend it with your solvent, it won't blend as well and the colour won't be as rich. So you want to make sure you're going in with really light layers, putting your pencil on the side and just shading really gently. And for this piece I'm using a brush and some colour pencil solvent. So the one I use is Zest-It pencil blender. Just going through and blending it down really gently. You don't want to have much solvent on your brush, just really minimal amount, and just trying to wet the paper. You don't really want to move the colour around too much. You just want to wet it all down so that it covers the tooth of the paper and you can't see any of those little white specks coming through. And then for the white section of the bird, I use a base of the warm grey 2 and the light ultramarine, just going through and glazing these down and then starting to build up darker with the same colours where we can see those darker tones. Just making sure to do really light layers. I eventually started to get up to the warm grey 5, adding in some of the walnut brown and also some of the orange tones that you can see in there as well. Moving on to the feet, so bird feet are notoriously tricky. They have such little details and it is very tricky, but we go through all of this in the tutorial. So if you feel like you're still not sure how to do this sort of thing, jump on over to Patreon and you can do this as a full real-time tutorial. You get given everything you need to complete this one all by yourself. And then finally at the end we just go through and add in a few little details here and there to finalize this one. I really hope that you liked this video and you learned something out of this. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks guys.